Welcome back to the Aussie Shed, ladies and gentlemen, for part 4 of my DIY right-hand drive twin turbo build on my Nissan 370 GT, which is also applicable to any of you guys with 370Zs or 370Zs out there. Actually, if it's a Z, you won't need it because you'll be in the US. Whereas if it's a Z, you could be in the UK and you will need it. Anyway, if you'd watched the last episode, you'd realise that we just finished the manifold for the driver's side. The turbo's mounted, so this is the turbo for the passenger side. This is our flange plate for the passenger side. And as with the driver's side, I've just been checking the port matching and just gave it a little bit of a tune-up. It didn't need too much at all. Probably a little bit less than the first one, which in itself wasn't very much. Just a little tiny frag in a couple of the corners. And she's now good to go. So I'm about to just mount this on the other side of the engine and try to find a location for the turbo. And I will go about this in the same manner as I did on the driver's side. I'm just going to hang some pull straps over from the other side of the engine. One on the front of the turbo, one on the back, and just use them to juggle the height. And then I will probably pull it in towards the engine with some cable ties just to get the position. That will enable me then to, get a bit of an idea on just where the hell to start with the manifold runners, etc. So come with me, folks, as we endeavour to build the passenger side turbo manifold. Let's go. So here we are on the passenger side, folks. This is currently where the turbo is sitting. Very early days as far as its location goes. This is one of the most important steps in anything like this. Take your time to work out turbo position. There's generally more than one place that it can go. The other side, there really only was one place for it, but here, there's things to consider. There's a starter motor that's down here that's a potential clash with a compressor outlet, and yeah, this exhaust port, just trying to get a really good spot to feed this into the turbine there. But it's going to be a lot easier than the other side, but you've still got to work out how you're going to do it, and it's no good going at it half cocked and then realising that you could have made it easier or you could have made it better. So I've already moved this 2 or 3 times, just small amounts forwards and backwards, up and down, tilting it around. It's probably not the final position where it is there, but it's probably pretty close. So I will just carry on until I get it where I think it's sort of closer, and then I'll start here and probably set the V-band up with a bend on it and sort of, just start piecing it together like I did with the other side. And when you come back, I'll probably have a little bit more done. I've been continuing to work on this position, folks. I think the turbo is finally in the exact position that I want it in. I've had the body shell up and down more times than a bride's undies, and it's now looking pretty bloody good. I think I've eliminated any potential areas that could be problematic as I get further into the manifold. All the clearances are good, and I think that is where it's going to stay. So you can see I've got the V-band on there with the first piece of steam pipe mounted on there. I've got a couple of pieces cut just to sort of, I've just been using to just sort of test positions and stuff on the ports. So as I say, pretty sure that's the final position. I can't see anything that's going to make me move it now, so I'm going to start piecing the manifold together. So here we go, folks. Bit of manifold building.
Isolated eyes, a messy mind. Think I need to help you. I'm gonna try. Cute as hell, baby. Hotter than flames. Wanna burn together in a million ways. Now let me take the lead. Know you wanna play with me. Got secrets you might wanna see. You might wanna see. You might wanna. sugar rush. I knew you were giving, temptation was craving. You love it, you hate it. Now let me take the lead. Know you wanna play with me. Got secrets you might wanna see. You might wanna see. You might wanna lock the doors, zip it off, kiss my neck. When you want more, scream your name deep in the night. Work your way around my thighs, explore my hips, my kind of light. I scream your name, I shut it down, 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 down. I know I'm not gonna regret this. Wanna get reckless, put you to the test, yeah. I know I'm not gonna regret this. I wanna get reckless. I wanna get reckless. I want.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
think that's pretty reasonable. I think we can definitely work with that, folks. Height's pretty good, location's pretty good. Don't think there's going to be any issues with the body shell. I think it is not bad. Not bad at all. There's only one little thing I've noticed. The turbo appears to be slightly tilting like that. So I might just release these two tacks on the front and just let it drop down slightly at the back to just correct that. It's not a lot. It's certainly, you'd certainly say it was passable. But I think we can fix it. I could actually do it anywhere. I could even do it at this V-band joint. But overall, I think that's pretty good. Certainly a lot quicker getting to that point on this side than it was on the other side. So I might just drop the body back down and just make sure all the clearances are right. And then, like I say, I might just adjust this angle ever so slightly. Yeah, that's not a big issue. It's certainly something that I can do quite easily. Alright, bloody ripper. Let's do it. Well, that certainly escalated quickly, folks. While I was adjusting the angle of the turbo, I actually completely remade the manifold. I started looking a bit closely at it and I thought I can substantially simplify this in relation to getting the exhaust ports into the main log. It was going to be a little bit of a headache to achieve that on this side, but I came up with this design, which I think is a really simple, pretty good design. It's going to be quite easy to weld up, and I'm so excited about it. I'm actually going to remake the manifold on the other side now, from about here forward. Basically means I'll have no dramas at all trying to weld up these runners into the main log. It's just really, really simple. Clearances are all spot on. Body shell's been up and down a whole heap of times. Turbo location's perfect, no hassles whatsoever. It's really, really good. Definitely a better design than the first one that I had. So I'll pull this off, throw it on the bench and give you a better look at it. So this is how it looks sitting on the bench, folks. It's not a bad sort of a setup. I'll just give you a look from the back side. That's our backside there. Very simple. I've got no restriction around any of the studs and nuts to bolt it onto the head. They're all really clear. All the joints are very easy to get at to weld, which was going to be one of the biggest issues with how I had the first piece on this side set up. All in all, not too bad at all, really. It's it's turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. So I think at this stage I'll call that one done. To this point, obviously all the finish welding's got to be done, and once that is then all done, we'll then bore a hole through the back and set up for the external wastegates. But at this stage, God, hope I don't get any other brainwaves, but I think at this stage that's the passenger side exhaust manifold in its final iteration, that hopefully I won't get any ideas to change. But as I mentioned, I have decided to modify this guy. I'm basically going to just cut it off here and redo the front in a similar fashion to the passenger side, which will eliminate this center exhaust port having to wrap around and underneath. It would have all worked absolutely fine, but the more I looked at it, the more I wondered how the bloody hell am I going to weld it. In all honesty, I would have probably been able to do it, but it would have been a super pain in the ass. Whereas, yeah, there's lots of hours involved in taking this apart and redoing it, but I think I will be happier with the final outcome. And if I'm not happy with something, I'm just not happy with it. That's how I do stuff. If I came up with a better idea and I didn't fix it, I would never forgive myself. I'd always be thinking about what ifs and, you know, what if I'd done it this way and what if I'd done it that way. Whereas if I redo it to what I think is definitely a better design, at least then I'll be a little bit happier with myself as far as what I have come up with. As I mentioned, not that this would not have worked, but simple is always better. If you can simplify something, you know, that's really what it all comes down to. Unfortunately though, some of the pieces that I need I don't have here. I've got lots of bends in various sizes, but I don't have these expander reducers. It just so happens that both of them have penetrations in them, and I don't think I'm going to be able to reuse them. I may, I'll see. What I think I'll do is build a jig to mount the flange and the turbo so that I'm not going to lose the turbo position, because the turbo position is spot on with this. It's really perfect, and I really don't want to lose that. And as soon as I pull this apart, I will lose that turbo position. The front and center ports are going to be disconnected, and so is the rear port, because it comes in under here, and I'll actually be cutting back to about here. So I'll lose turbo position. So I will make up a jig so I don't lose turbo position that I can just use to sort of rebuild it, which should make it go pretty smoothly. A lot of you guys probably think I'm being a bit crazy, but like I said, if I'm not happy, I'm not happy. That's all there is to it, folks. You do what you do. So I might call this video here, folks. It's going to take me a little while to get hold of these bends. My suppliers closed down for Christmas, so I'm going to have a bit of a delay, so I might move on to some other things with the car and just get back to this in probably going to be a week or two, I reckon. So I think we'll just say this is the end of this video for the time being. It's probably up to about, I don't know, probably close to 20 minutes anyway. So thanks for watching, folks. Even though I did change the passenger side exhaust manifold, you can see from the video the concepts and everything involved in doing it. It's basically the same thing. It was just reconfigured to a different shape. But all the cutting and shaping and grinding that you saw in the early stage of the video is exactly the same as what I've done when I reshaped that one, and it's the same thing that I'll be doing in this. I'll probably just reconfigure this one off camera as well and just show it to you when it's finished, because basically it's just showing you something that I've already shown you, really. And then we'll just carry on from there. So as always, folks, thanks for stopping by the Aussie Shed. Always a pleasure having you here. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my content, remember to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.